How's everybody doing this Saturday? Hopefully they're having a good one. I've had a pretty busy one. Got our shopping done. Got my truck fixed. Hopefully. Still gotta put oil in it, which has been down for a few months. And got a few things in the mail today. And I saw Eric Hussein's video. Shout out to him. If you not subscribed to him, go subscribe to him. Really cool cutter. It's really good. But he got a package in the mail from, he used to be called Backyard Samurai, in the mail. And the box was kind of jacked up. I can understand that. That's kind of BS. Because the package that I got today, I've already opened it. Came like that. Yeah. Look at that thing. Freaking smashed. That's kind of bullshit. Luckily, the contents in this... Oh yeah, look at that side. Look at that. Look how smashed that was. Luckily, the content in it wasn't damaged. Which... Let me show you the content now. Is this right here. Has real Samigawa in it. There's the back. The diamonds are fairly good. And then this is actually glued on, so it's not coming off, which is nice. And here's the cutout. It's pretty darn clean cutout. This is about 10.5 ska. So doesn't have big nodules on the Samigawa, which is okay. It is real. Since it's glued on, I can't see how they put the Samigawa on, but I don't feel on this a ridge line where the Samigawa normally goes. You can't see it, so I don't know if they carved it or not. This is actually from Bohayu. It's a pre-made ska, because I don't know how to wrap these. And this one, as you can see, my hand fits on it pretty good. Fits my wife perfect though. And that's who it's for, actually. It's for my wife. Because we're going to put together another sword, assemble it, and that one's going to be for my wife. So this is the first thing to come in right here. I'm pretty sure it's imitation silk. It's not cotton. But it feels good. The diamonds, you can move them a little bit. Not bad though. The Manukis, they don't move. It did come with Makugi pegs too. So as soon as the other stuff comes in, we will be putting that together. I still got to order the blade. In fact, I'm probably doing that today. Her saya will probably be in this week. And that saya looks really, really nice. And if you're wondering how long of a handle you should have, it's very, very simple. From your elbow to your wrist. See how that's just below my wrist? Because it's on the elbow. There's my wrist. That's how long from your wrist to your elbow. So 11 fits me perfect. This is like 10.5. I can use a 10.5, but 11 is super comfortable in my hand. So that's how you tell how long of a ska katana handle you should have. Elbow to wrist. It's really, really simple. Blade lengthwise, a lot of people say the blades are longer now than traditional. The reason being is, well, during feudal Japan times, Japanese people, even the men, were a lot shorter. Even Europeans were a lot shorter. It had to do with food quality. So as the quality of food got better and more prevalent, people started getting a little bit taller. Plus, interracial marriages play a part in that too. So Japanese people have gotten a lot taller now. Some haven't, some have. So with a katana, how long of a blade should you have? There's two ways you can do it. Some people measure 2 inches up from the floor with your arm hanging down, okay, or measure up to your ankle, okay, to your hand. You can do it that way, or another way you can do it, which will fit you perfectly, how long your arm is. From your middle finger to your shoulder, the top of your shoulder. If you measure your arm length like that, have the blade made to that length, it will be perfect for you for drawing all the time. So my arm length fits 27. Really nice. I go 28 and draw the sword, because when you draw the sword out this way, it should almost be clearing the saya. So that's another way you can do it. So there's 2 ways you can figure out what's the perfect sword length for me. Because that's actually how they would make the blades, is how long your arm is. European swords is a lot different. As a lot of us know, there's some that's super long. So that's another way. You can't really base off European. On some European swords you can, but some you can't. So same goes with Chinese swords. You can base the blade off of how long your arm is, and it'll work perfectly for you. So there's a little tips right there if anyone's wondering, well, what's the perfect handle length, the perfect blade length? It depends on your body, is what it does. You know, how long is your arm? You know, how long is your forearm? Because that's the best determination for your handle. Because then you're going to have a good grip. You want your hands kind of close. It gives you perfect manipulation and control. If your hand is down here too much, you're gonna get leverage, but if you're closer, you're gonna get even more leverage, more control than down here. A lot of people, I've seen people say traditionally they had their handles 12 inches long. That's not true. It was depending on their forearm, how they made the handle. Because if it's, you got to remember, when you're drawing this sword, you don't want this sticking way out there neither. So, because that's the target. Okay, if they damage your handle to the point where you can't grip it and control it, it's useless. Now, when you get into nagamakis and nodachis, that's a totally different story. Especially nagamaki. A nagamaki means long wrapping, because this handle is 15 inches long. It doesn't go off of here, because it's used totally different. You do not use a nagamaki like you use a katana or a naginata. The movement is totally different, I found out. Which we will be getting the nagamaki, and as soon as we get it in, I'll demonstrate how a nagamaki, you use one, because you don't move your hands. With a katana, you can move your hands. You can move it up, you can choke up higher if you need to, go down, switch hands. Naginata, you move your hands up and down for the movements. But a nagamaki, your hands always stay stationary. You don't move them. So it's a lot harder to use one. And there's a reason behind it, why. I also found out samurai didn't use the nagamaki that much. Foot soldiers did, infantry. So I thought I'd show you guys that, since it came in today. And agree with, Eric Hussein. Shit like that is kind of ridiculous. I mean, especially when you have something that you can tell it's something really soft. It's probably protecting something that's could break, It's bullshit. Also, when we're out shopping, my wife likes books. She loves books. I like books too. So I picked this up today. Doo-doo. Tales of Japan. Since I deal with a lot of Japanese weapons, hoping to get some Chinese ones in. Don't know too much about them, but I'll do my research on it. Figured this would be a nice little addition to the channel. I still have to go through the 2 textbooks that we got of the oldest writings of Japan, historical writings of Japan. So as soon as I get through those, I can incorporate those into the show, and maybe occasionally I'll give you little tidbits of stories here, which I have actually heard of. Which one of them, the bamboo cutter and the moonchild, I've actually heard of that story, and if I remember correctly, it's actually a very sad story. Hella cool story, but kind of sad. So I figured, that'd be a kind of a cool thing to add to the show for people. We'll see. I don't know. I like Japanese history, stuff like that. And we'll see about incorporating it. It's all about learning. The only problem is there's so much information nowadays, and some things get mistranslated, or there's just, or kind of lavished, you could say, that you really, when you're researching, you gotta really sift through a lot of stuff to find out if it's accurate or if it's BS or whatever nowadays. So it does make it a little bit harder. I normally, when I'm researching, I'll go through like 3 to 4 different websites. If they're saying pretty much like the same thing, just sure bet that it's pretty accurate for the most part. It's not gonna be worded the same, but if it's telling the same thing, then you're pretty good that, historical findings are actually kind of correct in that, because there's so much. I mean, it's like I just recently found out, I mean, they're still doing archaeological digs in Japan, and they found that during the feudal wars of Japan, 30% of women made up the samurai army. Now, whether or not they were samurai, onamushas, I think is how you say it, or just foot soldiers. Some, it looks like they could be considered a samurai. Some foot soldiers. The problem that they're having is they don't know who these people were, because records either get lost, they haven't been found, or they weren't kept on these people. So they're trying to sift through to find out who these people were for more accurate of their history, which I find is really cool that that they're doing that.
Like one guy just this year bought an antique katana, and I think it was a Murasami. I could be wrong. The sword dated back to, if I remember correctly, the 15th century. And as always, if you look on the Nakago, you have the swordsmith's name. So he actually looked it up, and he found out that the sword was gifted from the samurai to a Shinto shrine for safekeeping. And what happened was, during World War II, when they were told they had to sign their constitution, turn in all the swords, it got somehow taken out of the shrine and into circulation, because it was to remain there at the shrine for as long as the shrine existed, and it still exists to this day. So when the guy found out, it's an Australian antique sword dealer, collector. When he found this out, he got in touch with the shrine, told him he had the sword, and he said, I would like to keep it until I die, and he's having it put in his will. When he dies, it goes automatically back to the shrine. And the shrine actually said that was okay, because they'd rather have him enjoy the sword than have it locked away somewhere where nobody could see it. So that was kind of cool, and they appreciate that it will be returning to the shrine again someday. But they told him to enjoy it and to take care of it. So I mean, the guy was blown away. Just the story. And there's so many of these floating around still out there that people are searching and don't even know about. So that's all I have for you guys today on Saturday. No cutting today. It's a little hot today. Maybe this evening I'll do some. Maybe I'll do some nighttime cutting, like Kingfisher was doing. If you guys haven't subscribed to Kingfisher, he's at, last time I looked, 130 subscribers. Go check him out. Subscribe to him, like him, comment. The guy's really cool. He's got some really nice katanas. Does some really nice cutting, and he tries to do some unique stuff, like he does nighttime training, nighttime cutting, which, I mean, I haven't seen much of that happening, which is kind of cool. He's trying to do something different, so go check him out. He's a really cool guy. And we will see you guys on Samurai Sunday. Take it easy.